Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video predictions for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 6. In this one, we're going to be basing kind of plot predictions, I do this every half, on what I think this half, the second half of Season 6, is going to include from The Walking Dead comic book series. Right, and spoiler warning for anyone who's not caught up definitely on the Walking Dead television series. I'll try to keep the spoilers at a minimum for any major events that are going to happen in terms of deaths for the second half. It won't ruin any character names or anything like that for characters that are going to be killed off, for those of you who don't know. However, I'm going to be basically giving you a general kind of plot direction that I think they're going to go in for the second half and the events that they're going to cover from the Walking Dead comic book series. So if that's not something that you want to know, then you may or may not want to watch the rest of this video. So currently in The Walking Dead, we are at about halfway, maybe in the back half of No Way Out, which is The Walking Dead Volume 14. As you can see here on the cover, we have Michonne, we have Rick. They're together in the house. They are looking out as all the zombies are inside Alexandria. So this one includes a lot of the parts that we have already seen in the first half. Episode 9, our return episode in February, is called No Way Out, and that's where it gets the title from, No Way Out, Volume 14. So it's covered most of the first half of it, but it hasn't covered the second half, where the group actually has to fight through the amount of zombies that are, that have entered in Alexandria. They have to actually do something about it. So we haven't gotten to that point yet. And I won't spoil any more things about what's going to happen in episode 9 with regards to that, because that gets into severe spoiler territory. Those of you who already know the spoilers, you already know. But it should be really exciting, and it should make episode 9 for the first half of season 6 one of the absolute most shocking and best episodes they've ever done, for sure. And it looks like in addition to that, we have the part with Daryl, and they've released him in the prologue. I'm actually surprised they released it, where we hear the first mention of Negan, and when you look at the parts of the comic book series this takes place from, that's actually a few trades ahead. This one doesn't include anything about that, really. It's actually a couple farther down the line where we actually get into the stuff with the Saviors and Negan, which is like here, which is volume number 17, Something to Fear. So there's a couple in the middle too. So they're really remixing this, which I like it, in terms of bringing in Negan earlier than he probably should be, and getting him into season 6, because us fans, we can't wait to see him. Because in terms of timeline, I would say that really he should be season 7, but they've rushed, it sounds like, to get him in so we can kind of see him. We've already seen Dwight, who is the guy right there with the crossbow. So some of his men, Rick and the others are going to be running into, is actually from further on down the line, and the TV series have actually brought it in way sooner than they did in the comic book series. So season 6 and season 5 look like they're some of the seasons, including 3 as well, that cover the most parts, like the most storyline from the comic book series, in a single season. Season 6 may cover the most thus far, since we're already so far into it. So another one that's already covered parts of is volume 15, which is We Find Ourselves, which is after the events of No Way Out. Basically, the group has to pick up the pieces after, the zombies have come in. You had Douglas or Deanna being killed off and losing that really strong character, really strong leader, as well as some other unnamed members who I'll omit for spoiler purposes. And, they're just basically picking up the pieces after that, dealing with licking their wounds, so to speak. And there's some really good dialogue in it, by the way, which I won't spoil for sake of ruining it in the show. So I'm thinking that will probably take up a few episodes. Maybe like episode 9 will be the end of No Way Out. Then episodes 10, 11, and 12. Those few will include most of this, but there is a part in this, which you saw with Carter earlier on this season, where he tries to take over from Rick and the others, and there's the great line where Rick basically asks him, really, you're going to take this over from, and then he names off all the people, which is right here, except there's Andrea in this one. There's Andrea right there, which is kind of cool. I always get a kick out of that when you see Andrea in parts where in the TV series she isn't, and it says from Abraham, from Michonne, from Glenn, from me. Do you have any effing idea who you're talking to? So there's the comic book series version of that line that he says to Carter, except in the comic book series he says it to Nicholas, which I think that worked out pretty well because you had a different storyline with Nicholas in the TV series. So a lot of this, that part of this anyway, has already been shown, but there is going to be, of course, a lot of other parts in here that are pretty good, which is mainly them, just a lot of dialogue and stuff, them healing after what's happened. So with some really cool kind of developments from that, which I'll keep private for now. Again, those of you who know, you already know. You can watch my reviews of these, by the way, in the channel. I have a review for every single trade except for the most recent one that was released because I haven't bought it yet. So that one's going to probably be the first couple episodes. Then after that, this one, which is a larger world, which is a really cool one, where Rick kind of goes out and sees, that there's a much bigger world out there aside from just Alexandria. Now, that one's probably going to take up the bulk of the rest of the season. That's trade number 16, with the add-in specially chosen parts from here, which we're already actually starting to see now because they're remixing it to bring Negan in early, which is awesome. So there'll be part of this in there for sure. We know probably the finale will be where, Negan has his first appearance, so that should be pretty big, and we're expecting a big character death for that. And then this will probably take up, from episodes around 12, 13 through to close to the finale where we build up for Negan's first appearance. So man, they're covering a lot, and it should be a great second half to the season, maybe making season 6 the best season ever, even though right now it's kind of widely agreed that season 5 is currently the best. Even though you may have your own favorite, that's kind of the public opinion right now. Season 5 is basically the best. So this trade right here, what can you expect from a larger world? The second half of season 6 is going to be mainly Rick meeting a new group, meeting a character named Paul Monroe here, whose nickname is Jesus. We've seen him in some of the spoiler pictures that have been posted online, and he seems like a pretty cool character. Those of you guys who know him will know. I've done a video on kind of who he is a while ago, so you can watch that if you want to know more about him. Cool character, and basically we get introduced to the community that he is a part of, that he belongs to, which they had actually built, which is called the Hilltop, which is a group of survivors that are really not that strong in terms of physical prowess or fighting or shooting or anything. They're very weak survivors. They're kind of like Alexandria if Rick's group wasn't a part of it, is the best way I can describe the Hilltop. Except they do have some farm, they do have some spears and things like that they can use to defend themselves slightly, so maybe they're a little bit tougher in some ways than the Alexandria group was. And this is what it looks like. So you have the building at the top of the hill there. I'm expecting this to come in probably close to the end. We may not even see the inside of it because I'm not sure if they were finished construction at the time when the shooting would have taken place. It would have been really close, so maybe they just show a part of it or something like that. But the storyline from this, part of this, might get pushed into the next season in favor for some of this to be brought in. So that's all I'm expecting it to include. Best part should be Episode 9, and then the finale should be the best. In the middle is pretty good. This part is pretty decent. New characters, getting to know some new characters, and that is always fun. A lot like Season 5 when we started to meet Aaron, and we met, very similar to that, we met some of the characters from Deanna and that. So it is interesting to meet your new characters in that, which we're going to see probably about halfway through. So that's kind of what you can expect, is that, awesome start, action, the sporadic all the way through, some great stuff in the middle with new characters and new developments, and then the big ending being maybe our best season finale ever. So that's what I'm thinking for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 6. Those are kind of my predictions. Won't get into any particulars because we do different videos on that and spoilers and stuff like that. But that's what you guys can kind of expect. It should be one of the best halves to a season we've ever had, just like the first half. And the second half of Season 5 is probably going to be the closest to it, except having the Morgan returning thing. We're having new characters and a huge new villain at the end. Can't wait to see it. So let me know what you guys think. Write your predictions below. Try to keep them spoiler-free if you can, just for newer viewers who don't want to know, who are new to the channel. And if you guys like this predictions video, you can go ahead and thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, you can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. Don't forget to subscribe or you will regret it. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again real soon. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.